I'm sure, like me, you've started noticing the logo that says Albert Sustainable Production at the end of some of the popular programs on television. I wanted to find out what it's all about, so I'm talking to the person that knows. I'm delighted to welcome Roser Canela. Roser, tell us your background, first of all. Why are you here?
Hello. Yeah, hello. Thank you for having me here. So basically, my background comes. I used to work on TV production in Spain. I'm from Barcelona, so I worked there for around 6-7 years on TV production. Then 10 years ago, 11 years ago, actually, I moved to England, and I worked on production here as well. But then a few years after, I realized I didn't want to work on production anymore, and I did a degree on sustainability and environmental management. And then I found this absolutely amazing job that combines both of my careers. So I have the experience on production and the knowledge, and then obviously the knowledge on sustainability.
So, Albert, the project is part of BAFTA. How did you find out about it? How did you get involved, and how did it start?
It's quite funny, my story, because I found out through a Facebook group called People Who Works on TV, Most People Who Works on TV. I'm sure lots of people uses it to get a local crew, which is great for sustainability. And that's how I found the job. So when I joined the job around 4 years ago, we weren't that big, actually. The team, we were 2 people for a while, and now we're going to go to be 12 people.
So it's quite a big thing. When did it start?
So Albert start our consortium, that we call it, that I'll explain you now what it is. It's going to be 10 years next year, so it's 9 years old. But the project started a little bit before with the BBC. So the BBC decided to create a carbon calculator to measure the impact of their own productions. So they were really successful with the calculator. They did a trial and it worked. So they wanted to give it to share it with the whole industry. But obviously, no, the whole industry will want to use something that is owned by the BBC. So that's when they decided to hand it to BAFTA, because BAFTA is a charity, so has no commercial incentives on the tool or the project. And it's kind of the house of everybody in the industry. So that's why they handed it to BAFTA. So BAFTA is the chair of the project, but actually the project is funded by our consortium members, which are the main broadcasters and production companies in the UK.
I suppose the sensation is that being green is an imposition on businesses, that it's going to add complexity and it's going to add costs. Is that really the case, or are there wins for production companies by looking at Albert?
There is definitely wins, but obviously it depends who you talk to. They're going to say, okay, if I want to hire a hybrid car or electric car, it's going to cost me much more money. But then it's always about looking at the long term and from the beginning to end. And we know that productions, sometimes they're really short. But still, you can hire an electric car, which is going to cost you more money, but probably you're not going to have to spend money on petrol. So again, it's about the overall costs and savings. In terms, also what we think is that because now there is more demand for green and sustainable products, the price is going down. So we just need to look at the example of LED lighting. So LED lighting 10 years ago, it was so expensive to hire, and now the price has gone down a lot. And the reason why is because there is more people demanding for those services. And eventually, sustainability, so the UK government has a legally binding target to be carbon neutral by 2050. So you want it or not, every industry in this country is going to have to be green, and it's going to have to apply sustainability measures. So it's much better if you integrate to your business right now and to your production, so to make sure that you become resilient to all that.
Okay, and you have on your website a case study that says Mammoth Films saved 50k on a typical production.
Yeah.
How do they do it, and is that typical?
Again, it depends of the kind of production that you do and the types of measures that you do. But in drama productions, you can save a lot of money. We've seen production saving 50K. I've seen production saving up to 80K, 80,000 pounds by not flying all the crew to a location that probably maybe they never thought that they could get local crew, because maybe it's not a country where they really know the industry. And by digging and researching, they found out that there is a big industry and they could use local crew. Local crews especially save lots of money. Water bottles as well, which is something that we don't really talk about it too much, because we assume that everybody uses reusable water bottles. But imagine the drama, for example, with all the massive crews that they have, all the dailies that they have, all the background artists that they have, the amount of bottles and money that you can save on collection, of disposal. So yeah, there is definitely large amounts of money to be saved, depending of the measures that you implement.
So yeah, these are small things, but together they all add up. Is that the message that you're putting out there?
Yeah, definitely. They all add up, and they're not small things. The TV industry, TV and film industry, has a large carbon footprint. Yeah, I think definitely.
So what do you do? What does Albert bring to the process? Are you an advisory? Do you have services you offer?
So we always say that we are from the industry for the industry. So we have tools, for example, and we have different schemes that help the industry towards carbon neutrality. So we have a carbon calculator that helps. We obviously so that Albert owns and gives access to productions. So it's kind of a support for productions to measure their carbon footprint and understand it. Then we have the Albert certification process as well. That is the one that we award the productions with the end credit. So this is just a process, a list of actions that we ask productions to do. We ask them to evidence certain things that they do. So again, it's like we let them work kind of independently. We facilitate the tools. Then also we need to facilitate the projects that are going to achieve the carbon neutrality or reduction. So, for example, we do have a scheme that is called Creative Energy, where we help production companies, studios, post-production houses to source renewable energy, and we do it through a basket altogether, and that reduces the price. So this is really useful, because if you have a post-production house and you just can't be bothered looking into renewable energy tariffs or anything like that, we kind of facilitate that for you. You don't really have to look into that. So it's about different schemes that we have that are going to help the industry to completely eliminate the carbon footprint and waste.
You made a very interesting point there that to get to put your logo at the end credits, then they've had to achieve something. You've certified that they're doing the right things.
Yeah, so we have a list of actions that they have to comply with a percentage of it, and they have to prove as well. Said that, we are stepping up the certification from next year, from 2021, and we're going to ask every production in the UK that wants to pass certification to be carbon neutral. So they need to achieve to reduce their carbon footprint as much as they can, and the rest, it will need to be offset in order to get the certification. Until now, it's not been like this, but from next year, that's how we're going to do it.
Sure, that's a bold ambition. You mentioned LED lighting earlier. I mean, that's a win all round, because as well as drawing less power, it generates less heat, so you need fewer fans and lower air conditioning. Any other simple tricks that people can use to reduce their carbon footprint?
So there's one that is really easy that sometimes we don't have direct control, but that's why from Albert we are working with the industry, is renewable energy. So if you're lucky enough that you own a building or you own a post-production house, a studio, switch to renewable energy, to 100% renewable energy. That's a really quick and easy win to do without having even to move from your chair. In terms, other quick, like in terms of the catering, the meals that you serve into your teams as well. So kind of start introducing more vegetarian and vegan meals, and that again, that's quite a quick win. You just need to convince your crews that that's fine, and that might not be that quick. But
You will
yeah,
not
there is
give
so
a bacon
many.
sandwich away.
But then again, local crews, that's something that productions, they were a little bit reluctant at the beginning, but I think it's just a terms of trying it and making sure it works for you. And that's a really quick win on sustainability and money wise as well.
You said that next year you're driving it forward. You're looking for carbon neutral productions. Our project has got a long future. It's got goals out into the coming years.
Yeah, so basically our goal for many years was to reduce our carbon footprint as an industry. We stepped up a couple of years ago and said that now is to completely eliminate the carbon footprint and waste, so which it's going to involve offsetting. We also have quite a recent, since 2 years ago, a goal related to content. So how can we help the community to create content that shows sustainable living, so create strategies around this kind of content. So, and I think that's a long-term goal that we really working on at the moment. And obviously, to go this new tool that we're building, so this new certification and calculator is going to be accessible for everybody around the world. So right now we only work with the UK carbon factors. We adapted our tool to certain countries, and now this tool is going to be all one in the same tool, and we expect for everybody around the world to use it. Definitely.
That's great. It sounds like you're really achieving things, and I wish you all the success in the future. Thank you very much indeed, Rosie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.